3, 2, 1. Let's go.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
Maybe later.
All that shit, just let me
And
Wasn't
Black
pacemakers,
Lord,
make us no chaser. Gets the blood flowing like
classic,
a
the
fucking
original.
pacemaker. Cut the middle
Shot for the point.
inhale the vapors, man.
Tyrone, Vault, spelled wrong, and Matt.
Yo.
Let me fix that.
Oh yeah,
What else is new?
it's me,
That
Vault.
was a legit typo. That was a V-A-U-L-T. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, we got the whole crew here. Oh God, I didn't do the You know what? We'll leave. You know, might make a better clip anyway. I had a cold opening that I didn't put together. That we said we were going to put together last night because we did a test run on this one, and it's good.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome, but I think we'll use it as a clip later.
Amazing.
It's really worth it, folks. Welcome to. I hope you enjoy this. Don't think that it's going to be me getting political because it's not. I'm not sure I believe that Barack Obama's a crackhead, but it's fun to think about. Oh no!
That's
Let me
the
be
change
clear.
he was talking about, right?
Let me be clear.
Dude, that's just Obamacare, bro.
Yeah, it's about do some Obamacare. But I will say this: the guy could just be a great psychopath. The story does make sense, and it doesn't sound like it does not send my bullshit detector off. And I'm not saying that because I'm not a huge fan of Obama. And here's the thing with this: I was a little surprised that Tucker covered this. In fact, I was really surprised because I thought it was a little bit beneath him. But here's what I think. I think, like a lot of people think, that Obama's running the White House because guess what? A guy who shakes ghosts' hands after he gives a speech probably can't run shit. Just a guess. So he more than likely thinks that Obama got him fired. How? Because if you remember, if you guys are news heads like I am, Tucker was the only guy calling bullshit on Trump when he was like, they fixed the what was it? They fixed the voting machines, which was utter horseshit. You know, I do think they fixed the election. I do, just not the way Trump's been selling it, and he should have went through it under like laws that were just kind of like what they just did in New Mexico recently. They were like just declared guns illegal. They just suspended everybody right. They just added voting laws, like stuff like that, and of course it's what Twitter did and all the Nazis in the deep state, and really I should say deep. I hate the deep state. How about the Nazis in the FBI and the Nazis in the CIA that like to fund Nazis in Ukraine? So I think that this is just pure revenge on Tucker's part. Like I said, it is kind of beneath him. And I think that this is just his way of saying, fuck you, Obama. That's what I think. Whether he did it or not, I don't know. Joey Westside, can I hang out, guys? I promise to behave. I just got back from jail, and I want to catch up.
Oh no.
You can call in.
Oh no.
I don't think that's real.
No.
He was the one selling Obama crack back in the day. Fucking.
Yeah. Obama's did crack. Are you kidding me? So I'll go over this a little bit.
It was a dealer, bro.
So the guy's name's Sinclair, I guess, and I guess back in the 80s, was it checks or something like that?
He's had three counts of arrest,
Yeah.
all of them being for fraud. Back to back.
Kind of hurts his credibility.
Yeah. And also explains why his lie is so convincing if he was a professional fraudster.
Yeah, I know. It does. It does. Like yeah. Somebody told me Obama said that because the first person that came out with there was a I didn't hear Obama say this. There was a woman that sent a lead lever, and he supposedly bragged to her that he had sex with men, and I heard I thought I heard Jimmy Dore say that he did it because he was trying to impress her. And now you're probably saying, whoa, how do you impress with a girl with telling you like dick? Well, it depends what kind of girl you're going for. If she's really into gay rights and stuff, that might be the move. But no matter what, I can. That guy's gay. Look at this fucking guy. He's gay. He's very, very gay. That's been well established. And apparently he blew the president. Good for him. Kennedy, he banged Marilyn Monroe. Obama got a blowjob from this guy.
And don't forget about Monica Lewinsky too.
Yeah. Monica was. I always saw
kind of a
crazy.
kind of a
I always thought
downgrade.
Monica was cute.
Yeah.
I would have banged her too. I would have banged her too.
JFK gets Marilyn Monroe. Obama gets a gay crack addict.
Yes, and so listen. I am not claiming this is true. Like I said, I don't think this is a good idea for Tucker to do this. I think this is beneath him. But I think
Look how happy he is.
Look, I got this guy sucking
just
his dick.
smiling.
I got the guy that sucked Mama's dick right here. Everybody, look out! Am I crazy here? Is that not what's going on?
It just seems like revenge. I mean, like, look at that fucking smile. Look at that smirk, bro.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Barack.
Hey, fuck you, Barack. I got you good, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because I think he got him fired, and it was it's the deal they more than likely cut with the voting company that was probably being funded by a bunch of jackasses. So this is clearly revenge, and Obama probably is running the country if I had to guess.
In retrospect, it's pretty amazing that Barack Obama got as far as he did.
Pause for 1 second, Tommy.
2004.
What?
I just saw that someone in the chat wrote, Tucker is Keemstar, Sinclair is bad.
Thanks so much, Mari. Here we go.
The summer of 2004, Barack Obama gave the keynote address at the Democratic Convention in Boston. And when he walked to the podium, probably only a small percentage of people in the room knew how to pronounce his name. He was totally unheard of. No one knew Barack Obama. At the time, he was a state senator in Illinois. 4 years later, he once again spoke to the Democratic Convention, but this time as the nominee. Meteoric doesn't begin to describe it. How did this happen? Well, the owl...
My dad used to say. Mari, thanks so much for becoming a fuckhead.
Well, it happened because he had sex with a crackhead.
lines are fairly well known, though rarely talked about. A small group of Democratic donors, mostly in Chicago, decided that Barack Obama was their guy. He was the vessel for their ambitions. They paid for his campaign. They paved the way for his rise. He spent 2 years pointlessly in the United States Senate preparing to run for president in 2008. And of course,
and I think he got the job as senator because somebody had fucked up so bad. I mean, like, you know, the only people more crooked, Democrats more crooked in Illinois or New Jersey, where I'm from. You know, I mean, like, it's just an endless parade of people going to jail. Even in the town that I lived in before I left New Jersey, Edison, I think there's been 2 mayors that have done time since I left. And if I'm not mistaken, the guy, actually, we bought the house from the mayor. The guy before that mayor went to jail, too. So, you know, like, if you get the one-party rule, just breeds corruption. And I think that's how he got in.
In the end, he won. But the question was, who was this man? Where did he come from? What did he spend his life doing before he became president of the United States?
Blowjobs.
Crack and having
Well, the news
blowjobs.
media, whose job it is to answer those questions, spent the entire
Where did he come from? Where did he
campaign
go?
trying to
Where did he
keep
come
you
from,
knowing
Crackhead
the
Joe?
answer. By election day, most Americans knew only one thing about Barack Obama, other than he was handsome and a good communicator: hope and change.
See, that's the thing I don't believe. Like have you ever met a crackhead? Oh, great.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, you especially. Like, you know, like it's really tough to get my head around this.
But they knew nothing about him, his origins, what he believed, and legitimate questions about those facts were turned away, as they often are, with the claim, That's a conspiracy theory. You're crazy. Shut up.
No, it was you're racist. You're wrong, Tucker. You couldn't say a bad thing about him because you hated black people. That's the way it was in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting moments in
And the other most annoying thing back then, oh, he won't be president 2 minutes before he's assassinated. Oh, that was the other most annoying
the
thing.
2008 campaign occurred when a man, like Obama himself, came from out of nowhere to recount his experiences with Barack Obama, the man. His name was Larry Sinclair, and he told an amazing story. He said that in 1999, he had encountered Barack Obama in Illinois, had sex with Barack Obama,
Nice.
and then used cocaine with him.
Cool.
Sinclair went on
go.
to
If I'd have known that,
cocaine,
I'd
he's
have voted.
dignified.
If I'd have known that, I'd
See,
have voted for him.
It's not crack, it's cocaine. He's dignified.
No, it's
It's
like,
the fancy
Watch.
drug.
Wait.
No, what happens was.
What? No,
he described
wait,
it initially-
wait.
Okay.
Let them
Yeah, okay.
explain it. You can
Okay.
elaborate
Okay.
later.
make these claims publicly at the National Press Club in Washington, to sign a sworn affidavit, and to take a lie detector test. But he was dismissed. In fact, he was attacked. Obama shills like Ben Smith of Politico batted the claims out without refuting them. They're absurd. And the rest of the media followed suit. But the claims weren't absurd. We're not claiming they're true, but they were certainly credible.
Yeah, I don't know. It goes as far as they're credible, but they're not absurd. You'll see this guy. He's not an absurd person, other than a crack smoking gay
Right.
guy. No, he's not even a crackhead. It's Obama. According to him, Obama's a crackhead. Yeah, we'll see.
This was a first-hand account of Barack Obama's behavior by someone who was willing to sign a sworn affidavit to that effect. So the question is, whatever happened?
Well, Tommy, why does Augie do an exact better show than me? He's better than me. I don't know. He's younger than me. He knows more retards, and that's funny. There you go. There's your answer. Augie knows retards better than me. And so does Matt. He's doing pretty good, too.
To Larry Sinclair. What's his life been like since? That's an interesting story. It turns out Larry Sinclair is still alive. He lives in Mexico. But today, he's in our studio, and we're happy to have him. Larry Sinclair, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, God, I wish he was on Augie. Wouldn't it be great? Augie interviewing Larry Sinclair.
That'd be hilarious.
Gotta give Augie credit.
So thoughts on EDP?
By the way, I was an influence as well as Ralph on Augie to get his show, so I take some credit. It was me and Ralph. That's why Augie's show kicks so much ass.
Where did you meet Barack Obama?
It was by accident. I was in the Chicago area in '99 for Lee Duke's graduation from the Naval Academy.
Who's Lee Duke?
He's basically my godson.
Okay.
I had hired a limousine service.
It's a military celebration. Good time to find some dick.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you live in Chicago then?
No, I was actually living in Colorado. I had flown in the night before.
Okay.
So I had hired a limousine service, had made it the driver
I don't know about you, but this guy would not be my godson. Father's.
Oh, God, no.
aware that if Lee couldn't leave the base, because once they graduate, some of them actually get their assignments and they're shipping out and they can't leave the base, that I was still interested in going out. And had asked the driver if he knew anybody that was available that might want to show me.
Lee, can you get out? No, I'm stuck inside. I got to pull extra detail or something like that. All right, I'll go to get some dick.
Chicago. And he said he did. So
Who was the driver?
his name was Jameer Multan.
Jameer, Jamal, Tyra. I fucked it probably now.
I blew him too.
Sounds like he just like to laugh like a 1920 noble woman. Yeah.
It was with 5-star limo.
Where's Tobes on this one? Actually,
Oh, God, dude. He
I bet Tobes would be honest about this though, because Tobes knows gay and he knows how this shit works. And I wonder, he would, it makes sense to me, but it's not like I know anything.
So you're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party, actually. Yeah.
That's
what you're really saying.
Yeah.
You understand, Tucker?
Well, I was in town for a few nights, but yeah, I was definitely looking to party. And
Did you make that clear to the driver?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there was no misunderstanding.
How direct were you about that?
Extremely.
Extremely.
Extreme.
I want some dick.
Yeah. There was no doubt what I was looking for.
Okay.
And he picked me up at my hotel in Gurney and drove into Chicago, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. It was literally that casual.
Had you ever heard of him?
No.
Did the driver know him?
Yep. The driver definitely knew him because the driver said that he was a friend.
Interesting. How would the driver be friends with Barack Obama?
I only found out later, dealing with a reporter from Bloomberg News, that apparently the limousine company had been doing business with Tony Resco, that at the time was somehow affiliated
Was
with
in
Barack
Obama's
Obama.
orbit.
Yeah.
Yes. Interesting. So he knew Barack Obama, and in his view, Barack Obama liked the same kind of partying you were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. So sex and drugs, in other words.
Who doesn't like that?
The sex part I wasn't so sure about until, of course, you make your move, but it became obvious very quick. The coke part I thought was interesting because of the way that I had brought it up.
So I'm stepping on your story. So you pull up, and I apologize. So you pull up to this bar.
I apologize if you accused me before I'm friends. That was stepping on your story.
The driver
What happened
is
with his
basically
dick?
scouting some
No,
dude
we
for you
get
to
there.
hang out with.
Correct.
There's this guy, Barack Obama. Have you ever heard of Barack Obama?
Never. Never. We're having drinks. I mentioned the fact that I could use something to wake up. I was extremely exhausted.
So you went into the bar.
Yes, sir.
What kind of bar was it?
I'm trying to remember. I've been trying to remember the name. I know that the glasses had 3 X's on them because I remember taking
was like
one.
out of a
Hey,
movie.
Del Secchi's. That would just be the glasses. I could have a Del Secchi's pint glass.
For a friend of
That
mine.
might not be the name of the bar, though.
What, but I mean, generally characterized.
I know the booze part of this. I can relate to that.
Was it,
It was
working class bar,
no, it
gay
was
bar, strip
upscale.
bar.
It was upscale, quiet. Wasn't really that really didn't have a lot of energy to it. It was
Yeah.
more relaxed, more like a lounge as opposed to somewhere where people would go and get loud and crazy,
Yeah.
which made it easier to talk. But like I said, when I brought up the fact that I could use something to wake up, he immediately knew what I was referring to. Had made it clear that I
Probably
was
was
looking
drugs,
for
bro.
coke, and I really was, and had made the suggestion that he knew where we could get it, and we left to go get it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did he say what he did for a living?
Nope. I had no idea that he was a representative in the Illinois House. I had no idea he was in politics. I just knew that he was supposedly married and at the time was going through some issues with the marriage.
He said that?
That was made clear. Yep.
Did he say what kind of issues?
No.
Do you remember? No.
I don't know. She seems perfect to me. I don't know how that could happen.
So you said, I'm looking for someone to wake up. He knows you're referring to cocaine. I know where to get it. What happens next?
We get back in the limo. The driver takes us wherever it is that Barack had instructed him to take us. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. He gets out, comes back. I start putting a line on a CD tray.
Just
snort.
And you're in the limo.
Yep.
Driving or parked?
I would do anything to find out what the CD tray was. Is like Led Zeppelin or
It was like 1999, right?
Yeah, 99.
Like,
It's Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, this is this dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
No, the driver's driving.
Yeah.
I start to put a line on a CD tray, and I just happen to notice that he pulls something else out of his pocket.
Listen to this.
And next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking.
Want to smoke crack?
I don't have an issue with it. I mean, some people smoke, some people snort.
Smoking the cocaine.
Yes. So as I'm doing a line, I just start.
All right, before we get into the good stuff, I don't know. It's just like if he bought coke, as far as I like, maybe you drug addicts can help me out with this. I was under the impression the cocaine has to be treated to smoke. to
No, you
get
can
in rock
freebase
for
it.
him. You can freebase, so he might not be smoking crack. He could be freebasing.
He's not. Yeah, he's freebasing cocaine. He's
So
not smoking
he's
crack.
Dude, where's Isaac Kite? He would know drugs.
Crack
Isaac,
usually
don't put that
involves
on
like
him.
baking soda itself.
Yeah.
or soda
That's what
bicarbonate.
it's baking soda.
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
is
yeah.
crack so much more addictive than coke? Isn't it the same shit or like?
It's the same thing, but crack is just quicker. It's easier to make. It's cheaper.
So you
That's why
you
it's
take more of it in, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use a really weak diluted base to
So-
substitute for actual cocaine. That's
so-
like, pretty expensive.
Obama might not be smoking crack here. He's like the fucking Tucker might be taking some liberties. Correct.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it's the same thing at the end of the day.
Mm.
Like, he's not popping in a crack rock, no, but he's freebasing cocaine. That's pretty much.
Freebasing.
Yeah.
That's what Richard Pryor. He fucking caught his hair
Yeah.
on fire.
Yeah.
This is the part where you kind of make your move to see where things are going. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go. So the night became somewhat active sexually and drug-wise in the limo.
Hunter Biden. I don't see a problem. Sounds like a great time to me. Go, Uncle Perry.
So you hit on him. Did he seem shocked by that?
Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, if you're smoking crack with a stranger in the back of a limo.
The guy says freebasing and crack is basically the same thing. Is it? I always thought crack was so much worse. I don't know.
No, like freebasing is like dignified, right?
Oh,
Crack is just cheaper.
Crack is for losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to imagine things.
Yeah,
are
you can
like
make
okay.
crack as well really cheap if you want
Really?
to even use like ammonium carbonate as well, which is with baking soda, which is like really that's the really bad stuff.
That's the thing.
Yeah, what are those '80s guys called with the suits? It's not hipsters. It's something else. Can't remember what it's called.
Yuppies? No,
Yuppies. That's
yeah,
what
yuppies,
yuppies do. Yeah, yuppies freebase.
We did this. If you want to become a member, you can watch these shows or get an idea what we're doing ahead of time. That's a great idea. Become a member, join the Discord, and then you get unlocked content.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Crazy, bro.
Crazy. So you were saying yesterday that it was a little unbelievable to you because what was it? Because and we had to explain to Tyrone that crack. I don't know anybody that does crack over here in Germany. I've met nobody, and
All the people that do crack over here are people that have went to prison or are coming out of prison.
that's pretty much the
or
way it
something
is.
like-
But it's just readily available. I get the feeling it's more readily available, or people just don't.
There's
do
a
it
lot
over
of
here.
people who smuggle cocaine over from like northern African countries.
Yeah,
Trust me, I
shocking.
know all about that. Throughout the Strait of Gibraltar.
You
But,
know what it is? You know what you don't understand? Like, and I've seen white trash in Europe. Okay, Eurotrash. It's like night and fucking day. Like, it's so much worse in the States. The drug problem. We love drugs in the States. It's not. I'm not saying that people don't get in trouble with. It's just Europeans just don't seem to be as bad with it as we are. That's in my judgment. And you know, I came here when I was 28. I'm almost lived here half my life. You know?
Crazy places.
Well, not only imagine it, I look at it this way. I've done a lot of crazy things in my lifetime. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I pretty much know whether or not I can move in a certain direction with an individual. I didn't feel that I was going in the wrong direction. I just wasn't so sure how much I could trust the individual at first.
Dude, his gator was on point.
And that was probably one of my bigger concerns. But the fact that I was already
Like, trust in what way? Like, somebody's gonna find out you're gay? You know?
becoming somewhat buzzed, you kind of throw caution to the wind.
You weren't sure you could trust the individual. What does that mean?
When you meet someone out of the blue and you go to a level that you're doing drugs with, or you're giving money to purchase drugs, or even for
Yeah, that's
sexual
right.
activity, you have to be sure that you can trust them. And when I say trust, I mean that you're not going to end up being
Can he kill you? You know? Yeah. That's probably a good point.
robbed, or that you're not going to end up having a knife stuck into you,
Right.
you know, from one direction or another, or that you're not going to pull up somewhere and all of a sudden the car door is going to open and you got 5 people pulling you out of it.
Totally.
That's what I mean when I say trust
Yep.
someone.
And you
He's probably caught a beating or two. I mean, he was gay in the 80s and 70s when it was dangerous. So I think that's what he's talking about. By 1999, it's probably less of a chance of it happening, but not impossible.
and you've been around at this point
Oh,
in
yeah.
your life, big time.
Yeah.
Right. So probably not your first time in a situation like this.
Not at all. And that's why I said I pretty much know where I can go and
Yeah.
at what point.
Ninja Style's in there trying to say I'm gay. I don't know gay, but I do know loser. I do know drugs, and I do know loser. So this I can be pretty sure. Also, I drove a cab in Woodbridge for years, so I do know this world a little bit. You want to say I'm a
Story to me
homo?
is
That's
so
fine.
interesting
But
because there's points where he doesn't actually seem like he's lying,
no, he doesn't. He never seems
which
like
is the most
lying.
interesting part.
Yeah, I think that's but it's like he said, you know, he at one point he was trying to be a professional criminal.
Yeah.
You know,
Rubbing his leg, and I think, I'll just be totally blunt with you, like a man who's not into gay sex would be like, whoa, settle down.
Trust me, if it was something that you were not interested in,
Yeah.
and you're right, I've had guys that I read wrong that would literally try to break your hand.
For sure.
If you went in that route. So it's not like this was something that he wasn't into. It's not something that he was shocked by.
Yeah.
Shocked by, you don't get excited and you don't unbutton your pants and you don't just sit there and let it happen.
Yeah.
you know, I thought of a way he could be lying effortlessly. That this happened before, exactly like he says, but with somebody else, and that's why it sounds so effortless.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not lying. It's just not the person he's saying it is. You know. That's what
Yeah, he fucked Hunter Biden instead.
yeah, sure. Yeah, Biden would have been around. Yeah, Hunter. Like, how old's Hunter?
Yeah, Hunter
57?
Biden. Yeah, I mean, that'd be
Yeah,
fucking.
even in his 30s in '99.
So it definitely wasn't Barack's first time. That much I'm absolutely certain
Let me be
of.
clear.
And I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't his last.
Well, no. Let me be clear. I like a nice blowjob from a toothless white.
So you performed oral sex on
I
Barack
did.
Obama. You did.
Now let me be clear. God.
In the driver's up front,
Yep.
and he's cool with this.
The driver has the partition up. He didn't have a problem with it. He didn't put it down for any reason.
I mean, he kind of set up the whole thing for this in the first place.
Exactly. And I have a funny feeling he had no bones to pick with it as far as what took place in it.
Yeah. So what happened after?
Afterwards, I actually went back to my hotel. I had specifically asked that he drop Barack off first, but for some reason, he and Barack chose that they would drop me off at the hotel first, and then
I want to know exactly who the fuck you were and where you were.
he would take Barack. So Barack actually made the drive out to Gurnee, which is a suburb outside of Chicago, to the hotel for me to be dropped off.
What hotel was it?
It was the Comfort Inn in Gurnee.
Ooh, that sounds depressing.
Well, you have to remember it was 99.
Yeah. No,
And it was close to the Great Lakes Naval facilities.
yeah.
But I got dropped off. They left. The next day was somewhat interesting because he ends up showing up at my hotel room, which I thought was somewhat weird, but
He wanted some more. Mm-hmm. So when you say he
Fucking
showed
smart
up,
dick,
he just
bro.
he showed up. I mean, I had no warning. I was in the room. There's a knock on the door. I open the door and he's standing there. And he's standing there with more Coke, and he comes in, and it was just like a quick, rehash or rerun from the night before.
exact same program.
Exact same program.
Was he smoking again? So Barack Obama smokes crack, and then you perform
Yep.
oral sex on him.
And like I said, the only reason I had come out about it is I had reached out to the campaign even in 2007. only because I saw all these kids getting excited about it.
Okay, wait. So how did that
Slow
end?
down. Stick with the
Same
Lawrence
way.
stuff. Orson Welles' breathtaking turn.
You get off, you finish smoking, you leave.
It's the Irish. He doesn't have Irish blood, does he? It's not Obama, you dipshit.
You fucking idiot.
Oh, Obama, he lived down the road.
Yeah. It's Obama.
Come on to the
Oh,
place
you
me to the
can be an
command,
idiot.
Obama. You're down at the caravan down the side.
Like
Take that
thanks, bye.
Hilarity and take him down. Going home. Big old bodies down the bottom. And you got no fucking home, so you're alone.
Oh, God.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I thought he was definitely a con,
He's a phony.
but,
What do you mean by that?
well, in my life,
He smells like a phony. He always has.
at that point, you made it clear. I had already been around.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So you know when people are doing things because they actually really enjoy it, or they're sincere, or they're looking, for a connection, or they're doing something because they're looking for an in, or they're looking for a hook, or it's a game.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt that it was a game for him. It was like, okay, what am I going to get out of it? Or is there something I can get out of it other than just, the sexual part?
Right.
And lucky for me, I wasn't going back to Chicago anytime soon, so it really didn't matter.
So you were left with a bad taste in your mouth.
That's one way to put it. None of them, I watched this before, and there's no reaction to this.
How do you think the fucking crew would laugh
I
or
would've
something?
felt
Because
bad.
how
I'm
does nobody
surprised-
laugh at?
I'm surprised you didn't hear shit like breaking backstage and getting knocked over and stuff.
Or the fucking camera just shaking or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, he says this. I can't believe they didn't cut it, right? And then everybody goes on and like nothing happened. Like nothing
And
happened.
fucking look how serious Tucker looks.
Yeah, I know. You were left at the bed.
You were left with a bad taste in your mouth, weren't you, buddy?
I can't believe this hasn't been a meme. It's so funny. But this is the funniest part. Watch this. You heard what he said. Now watch this.
Something, yeah.
God. Oh my God. This is. You wonder why I did this.
Did you have a lump in your throat as well?
But did it feel good though?
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh my God. Jesus. I like to hear Obama lying to his wife. No, I don't know if he's lying to this. None of this is true, baby.
Let me be clear. None of this is true.
Let me be clear. You were first lady. No, stop complaining.
If it was true, he would be the first man.
Ooh.
Did you talk to him again?
I did not. In fact,
And did you have any idea, even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack
He blew him. He didn't look up his fucking resume. I mean, come on.
twice, you had no idea who
Yeah,
he was?
yeah,
I
like
had
drop
no
his
idea.
fucking ID with him.
who he was until I'm sitting in my house in Tequila, Nayarit, Mexico in 2004, and he walked on that stage
In Boston.
in the DNC convention, and I literally hit the floor.
I bet.
I just hit the floor and was
Wait, so you're watching the Democratic Convention from Mexico?
I was
And the guy
laughing.
that smoked crack in your Comfort Inn with you,
I was laughing so hard.
and you were sure it was him.
I was absolutely positive.
How?
There's
I
just some
don't
other black
forget
guy.
people I've met. I don't forget people I have spent time with. I just don't.
And just to restate, because I think you affirmed this, but he used his real name when you were with him.
Yes.
This is
He
weird.
call himself Barack or Barry?
Barack.
Barack.
And so did the driver. And that's why at first when everybody was referring to him as Barry, I just didn't understand or catch on.
I always thought that was weird too when they were calling him Barry, because I heard people referring to, but I never saw anybody say that to his face in any clip. I never heard like when people had played basketball with him when he was growing up in Hawaii, they didn't refer to him as Barry. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I never saw that. I wasn't surprised that he said this.
Because
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't know that much about him other than the fact that, hey, you know, you hook up, you know, today it's Grinder. Back then it was, you know,
The limo driver.
yeah. A limo driver or a bartender, you know. You ask and somebody knows somebody or somebody doesn't.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So you're sitting there in Mexico watching this, and you think, that's the guy I had sex with who smoked crack with me.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Like I said,
voting
I just
for him.
started cracking. I freaked out. I had even pointed out to some friends of mine that were at the house that night, and I told them, I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, I blew this guy twice. You know, and they just start cracking up. But that's the thing about me. I've never been in the closet. I've never hid. I mean, I'm always very direct and blunt. And, you know, and I'm just like, this is unreal, you know? And
This guy's a lousy date, man. He's snitch on you. Talk about kissing and telling. You know?
Yeah.
I had no idea that he was going to run, you know, in 2008. But I was back from Mexico. But it was a strange feeling sitting there watching him walk across
Probably thinking about blackmail.
that stage and realizing who he was.
So what did you do? You said you reached out to the campaign?
Why?
Did he? He really reached out to the campaign.
He didn't do anything in 2004, but when he announced his run for 2008, I did reach out to the campaign in late 2007 because I had seen a lot of these college kids talking about how thrilled they were, how there was a candidate who was
Now, if I had to make an argument, I'm not making this argument, but if I'm just, I guess I'm just doing this for the hell of it. If you remember, when Barack was running for president, he was not pro-gay marriage because he couldn't be. I don't think he cares about gay marriage one way or another. But if you're courting Black Baptist in Chicago, gay marriage isn't gonna, it's gonna wash. While Black Baptist and a lot of Black people vote Democrat no matter what, because you know the other guys are pro-slavery. If you really break down those political families, they tend to be aggressively conservative in just about every other part of their life, up into including their religion. So yeah, I think that would make this a legitimate point to bring up, and not just a smear. You know, like all right, so he had some sex, he smoked some crack, whatever. You know, but if you're letting dudes blow you, maybe you should. You know, it makes you look like a hypocrite if you're like anti-gay marriage. Now he did flip, and it was because he had the political capital to do it at the time. But that would be like the one reason I think this would be legit.
completely honest about
I
his
just found
entire
something,
life,
actually,
his
about
drug
Larry
use,
Sinclair.
you know, what he did when he was
When
in
he
school,
first levied
you
the
know,
allegations
the
in
constant back and
2008,
forth. What
he
Tommy,
he
pause it. Pause it,
voluntarily-
Tommy.
Yes, I paused it. I'm sorry.
He voluntarily went under a polygraph test, and he failed it. I've got the entire report here.
Oh, he failed
But
the
he was
test.
asked two questions. Did Obama smoke a rock of cocaine in your presence in that limo in 1999? He said yes. Did you lie when you saw Obama smoke a rock of cocaine in that limo in 1999? He said no. And the polygraph test came out, and it said that the expert analysis said that Sinclair's polygrams resulted in an evaluation of deception indication with a score of -7 when he answered each relevant question above.
Really?
Yeah, and that was in 2008 when he first made the book. I just saw that right now.
So this is revenge on fucking Tucker's part. That's all this is. You know, That's funny. Is that really flamenco? Can we check? Because I don't want to happen to you.
I checked. It's not him. I checked.
Oh, damn it. Too bad. Damn it. You can't pull that chick twice. You think you're going to fool me, you prick? You fooled Nick or Matt, and then I made fun of him. Thank you for a great moment. You know.
1 minute is, yes, I did cocaine when I was younger, or no, I never did cocaine, but I smoked weed. So I just simply pointed out that all I was asking was, look,
Look at his
why
fucking
don't you
dumbfounded
just
face.
simply come out and say, I did coke and I've done it as recently as 1999. You know, just tell the truth.
Oh, poor shit.
Put it out there and be honest and let
Oh,
it.
that's horse shit. I don't believe that for a minute. Oh, come on. Just tell the truth. Get the fuck. Like, I gotta be honest. If you did some coke when you were younger, although 1999 is not exactly younger, like I don't think you have an obligation if you've cut it out of your life. And that's another problem with this story. If he's doing freebasing cocaine or smoking crack, it's just like you can't just like, I think I'm done smoking crack. I'm done with that shit. I don't know anybody who could be able to do that. You know, I talked to somebody I knew that smoked crack in high school, and she told me that she was addicted to it the moment she inhaled and could feel it. Like
That's what I was told.
The
too.
second it happened, like you can't walk away from it. You know?
Yeah, I had a friend I worked with tell me like they were passing it around. It went to her. She passed it. She took a couple hits, and then she passed it to her left. And by the time it got to the next guy, she wanted it back so bad.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah. I heard it's like that. Now, I've never done. I've done acid. I've done weed, angel dust. So I'm gonna just get this out there. What else have I done? I've never done the big ones, the H or the C. I've never touched it, so I don't know. But I've been around enough people that do. And this guy sounds plausible, but. And then he failed the lie detector test. What's the source on the lie detector test, by the way?
It has his actual signature on it. He voluntarily took it. I can give you the entire document.
Okay, so I mean that's it. Where did they get it from?
He voluntarily did it in 2008 when he was asked to, and it's by past president of Melbourne Polygraph Association. I guess he wanted to add credibility, but he failed it anyway. So.
Tucker put him on anyway. Yeah, this is revenge.
Stay as the truth rather than this back and forth. Never did hear anything back from them immediately.
Who did you reach out to? Do you remember?
I reached out to actually David Axelrod's office in Chicago. I'm trying to.
Oh, they didn't want to hear from you?
No way. That's crazy.
Letters, because it was actually 3 letters.
And did you say I had sex with Barack Obama?
This is the interesting part. My first contact
What's the boring part?
with the campaign never mentioned the sex whatsoever. That was actually brought to my attention by someone who eventually reached out to me in late 2007, claiming to be with the campaign, but wasn't with the campaign.
What do you mean that was pointed out to you? So you never told anyone
never-
in the Obama campaign you did sex with Barack Obama?
Not in 2007, no.
Interesting. But they knew?
Yep.
How? Who? Well, that's weird.
I'm assuming Barack himself, because the phone calls that I got in late 2007 came from a gentleman that I have repeatedly identified as Donald Young. And it was Donald Young who had mentioned to me that the campaign was not going to acknowledge the sex and the drug interaction. And I was somewhat taken.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. How is that? Why would that even be necessary? Just ignore him. You know, I don't believe that for a minute.
Back, because like I said, I had never mentioned the sex to the campaign at all at that point. I had in 2008, but I had not in 2000.
Okay, that is amazing, and I want to get to who Donald Young was in just a minute. But I apologize for being a bad interviewer. But let me just ask the obvious question: what was so?
Barry is proud of his antics. Now, here's the thing. Here's what does make sense. I don't buy that. I don't think they would have called him at all. But let's pretend they did. If the limousine driver was aware of Obama's bisexuality or being gay or whatever it is the fuck that he is, it's probably so is everybody else, more than likely. So I guess that plays a little to his story because that's consistent with the story he told. So if David Axelrod did, and maybe this guy Young, maybe everybody else did in that circle. But I don't know, man. Like, why would they call you to tell you they're not doing something? Why would they just threaten you like a normal person?
Obama like on crack.
Actually, and I hate to say this because some people are going to think I'm really crazy.
I think
I
you're
know
fucking.
a lot of people that,
You've already convinced me. And whether it's true or not, you're a pretty wacky dude.
smoked it because I was in Miami in the early 80s when it became quite popular. Similar to a friend of mine that I knew in Miami, gets extremely high, calm, almost euphoric. And then as it starts
his
to come
face.
down, you know, the twitching and the looking, anything that looks white that's sitting on the seat or the floor, you assume is another piece that fell off that, you know, you can pick up and smell.
Sounds like a fun drug.
But while he was high, pretty much the same.
Pretty controlled.
Pretty controlled, euphoric, talkative, but not really saying anything.
So it was like his presidency.
A lot like it.
Was it your impression, and of course, strictly speaking, no, but was it your impression that this was the first time he'd ever smoked crack?
No. No. You don't, first of all, you don't buy crack, get in a limo, and have a pipe in your pocket if it's the first time you
That's
smoke
probably
crack.
true, but
You just don't.
That makes sense.
you gonna
So,
bring up the fact that he failed his lie detector? I can't believe. Well, I mean, and he didn't fact check. So you know what it is? He doesn't have a team behind him anymore.
Read about your story to the extent it's been written
Yeah,
about.
the
not
Andrew
very
Tate
much.
episode just made it like.
Yeah, he
you
doesn't
really
have a team
didn't do your
behind him
research on
anymore.
this
No,
one,
he
okay.
didn't. He probably doesn't have the time. You know, and he's not used to doing it.
But I'd never read that Donald Young, this man Donald Young, called you and told you that he knew you'd had sex with Barack Obama.
That's
That
bizarre.
was the contact in late 2007 that I had that originally came under the guise that
I don't believe that. I do not believe for a minute, even if they knew, that they would verify his accusation. That makes no sense. Why would they? In fear of being recorded? I mean, this is a presidential campaign, for Christ's sakes. They're crossing every T and dotting every I. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. I can't believe he'd be that stupid. I mean, that would be... It would almost be like this. In order for me to believe this, and maybe some people would find this believe that that he would almost know that he was going to be president already, and there's nothing anybody could do to stop him. And maybe that kind of arrogance, but that's the only thing that would make me think that the campaign would be that blatant. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? No way.
they were part of the Obama campaign.
So who was Donald Young?
Donald Young is a choir director and a school teacher. He was the choir director at Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago, the same church that Barack Obama went to.
That's right. That guy's a
He
nut,
was
too.
also a very openly gay black
Yes.
man, but very well respected.
Did you know him?
I had never met him. I had not even realized that the person who was communicating with me had been killed until a good 2 months after.
So
What? Look up Donald Young.
I really can't find anything on this guy. I've been looking him up for the past.
He's been
I
killed.
found-
Let me see this. That's insane. Hold on a second here.
He was also a very openly gay.
Oh,
black man.
this is a real thing. There's an article. Death of famous choir director Donald Young remains a mystery 16 years later. And this is an article made of just 5 days ago.
Only 5 days ago.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What happened to him? How was he killed?
Okay, he died in December of 2007. He was mysteriously killed in his own
So he would have been
apartment in
killed
2007.
after this conversation theoretically took place.
Yes.
But that actually lends credibility to him saying that this guy called up and verified it. Because if there was a reason to kill him, it would be out of sheer stupidity. You called that guy up and told him that we had sex? Did you ever think for a fucking minute that he might be recording you? I might get you killed.
His autopsy revealed that he was suffered multiple gunshot wounds, but they never identified a killer. So
It was Obama, dude. Fucking Obama shot
it was
him.
ruled as a homicide, though. So
Chicago. Chicago, too, man. They don't fuck around over there. No. That's insane. Get a keto biscuit. Matt,
Yes.
give a keto or a Kaido or whatever her name is. Give her a call. Let's get her out of retirement here.
Aiko?
What are you drawing this?
Aiko. Oh, boy.
But very well respected.
Did you know him?
I had never met him. I had not even realized that the person
When he died, boy, I never would have came public again.
who was communicating with me had been killed until a good 2 months after.
So I'm going to get to that. So Donald Young is the choir director at Jeremiah Road Church.
Yes.
And is it publicly confirmed that he knew Barack Obama?
Oh, yes. Yes. Donald Young's own mother has repeatedly said that she feels that her son died to protect Barack Obama.
It's just interesting that Donald Young would have called you. He's
Yes, because this is what sounds like bullshit.
not working directly for the campaign that we know of.
Exactly.
But somehow he has a copy of your letter. It sounds like maybe Donald Young was on cleanup duty.
Somehow he has my phone number. Exactly. And that's exactly what it was. Because like I said, the first calls were, I was led to believe that he was with the campaign. The last conversation that I had had with Donald Young, he had actually come clean and said that he had been asked to call me and that his job was to get as much information from me as far as who I had spoken to, who I had given any information to, and to get that to them. He had told me to be careful, to watch myself, and to understand that the Barack Obama campaign was not in any way, shape, or form going to acknowledge anything or come out about anything. And he had made it clear that he had known Barack.
He must have been brain dead, if that's true. Like, absolutely fucking brain dead.
For quite some time, and had had an
He's telling this guy to be careful, but he's speaking in a suicidal manner. Not buying it.
intimate relationship with Barack for quite some time.
He told you.
But then you never underestimate stupidity. You know. You know,
Who
it's
knows?
like
It
if
could all just be crack addicts.
You think?
and-
Well, I mean, like, I think you think of Goodfellas, which is mostly a true story. You know, Stax fell asleep in the fucking. Help me out.
Yeah, he fell asleep in the fucking stolen car.
He fell
and
asleep
he
in the
left like
stolen
his
car, and
fingerprints.
He didn't get rid of it. Let his fingerprints all over the place.
Yeah.
A lot of gangsters are stupid. You know, they all bought. You know, they all started buying shit for their girlfriends. Like right afterwards, when they were told, "Don't buy anything." You know, they could. I mean, we're not
Right
dealing with
after
rocket science.
Godfather came out, they all like started like wearing fancy suits.
It's unbelievable.
Do that.
Yep. And that's when I knew that I could at least trust what I was being told. Originally, I had made it clear I didn't feel comfortable with the phone call because something just didn't seem right. But after a couple of calls, it started to all fall into place. And I had said the same thing to myself.
Wait, so you didn't know Donald Young existed?
Nope,
It sounds like you're not very political. Anyway, you weren't. At the
I
time.
wasn't at the time.
It's not gay if you leave your socks
And
on.
you were
Oh.
just annoyed that Obama was talking about cocaine and lying about it.
I was extremely
Which just
annoyed.
sounds like
But the sex part
horseshit.
had nothing to do with it.
No,
Then Donald Young,
Bullshit.
who you don't know, never heard of, calls up and says, by the way, I know you had sex with Barack Obama. I did too.
yep. Pretty much.
All right, this is Tucker more than likely trying to discredit this guy without telling him he's a liar to his face, because that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense like in a provable way, but it just doesn't make a sense on how the world normally works. It doesn't pass the smell test, which is subjective, of course.
I mean, this is a longer conversation, which we're going to have in a minute, but I mean, Obama has a wife and kids, and he's telling America what a great family man he is. Is that, or maybe you've seen this a lot?
Isn't that what they all do?
What do you think of that?
Well, in 2008, I made it clear that Obama was having marital problems in '99, and everybody in the world said that I was crazy, didn't know what I was talking about. And yet, what was it, 6 months ago, Barack Obama comes out and tells the world that exactly what I said was the truth. In 1999, he and Michelle came very close to divorce. Really. 15 years later, what I say is the truth, but 15 years earlier, I'm a liar and a fraud. It's interesting how things eventually come out. But yes, believe me, I've known guys that were completely happily married that will screw around with another man on a weekly basis and think nothing of it.
Huh. Is it
it's
your
his
sense that
guma.
that's who Obama is, just transactional?
Yeah.
Or that he's bisexual, or like, what is this?
No, my feeling that Barack Obama is probably, he's definitely bi. I think
You don't say.
there is a lot of transactional qualities to him, because I think whatever he does, it is looking for a hook or looking for a dime.
That's consistent with his public persona too, I would say. So Donald Young calls you actually sounds like you kind of like and trust Donald Young.
I did.
Did he say how long he'd had a relationship with?
He had just said that they had been intimate for years.
Intimate for years.
Don't
and what
buy
happened
that.
to Donald Young?
Donald Young
Me
was
too.
shot dead in his apartment, second floor in Chicago, Illinois. I think it was December 23rd of 2007. According to the police report and the death certificate, multiple gunshot wounds, close range,
That is correct, actually.
no forced
Okay.
entry.
It is.
Second floor apartment, yet not a.
I want to point something out. The lack of bitching by the left about this. They bitch like they didn't have a meltdown over this like they normally do.
Yeah, a gay black guy just mysteriously killed that was respected in Chicago.
Like,
And
why
no
didn't
one
they
cared.
use this to fucking club Tucker over the head and discredit him?
And who is also big friends with Obama? It's like,
Well, I'm talking about the story, Tyrone. Like, this didn't. Like the fucking song that came out a month ago, Richmond caused more of a stir than this.
yeah.
It could be because it's just utter bullshit and everybody's laughing about it back in Obama land, but it also
That'd be
could
funny.
Or
like Obama and his wife just like laughing at this.
but yeah, it could be. I mean, or they just
Yeah.
want it to go away.
Single resident in the building heard a single shot, but yet they can hear every shot that's fired in the street outside. Jeremiah Wright announces that Donald Young's dead earlier that morning, even before it was announced, even before he was
I don't know about that.
declared dead. I mean, a lot of it just didn't make sense.
This is all public, and you can
Yep.
look this up, and it's still on the internet. Tell us about Donald Young's mother.
Norma Jean Young actually is a former Chicago Police Department employee.
Really?
Really. She had worked for the Chicago PD. I had spoken with his sister Lorraine shortly after I realized that he was the gentleman that I had been speaking with.
Wouldn't you diss a fucking peer? Because if they could touch him, they could touch a loser like you. I don't know. This guy's pretty crazy.
There were people
Yep.
at the time that were attempting to have Lorraine and other members of Donald's family file criminal complaints against me with Chicago because they wanted me arrested. They were trying to get the family to say that I was trying to con them or something. To my knowledge, they never.
Completely unbelievable. The fraud.
No, we him
Yeah.
committing a con.
did
That's
any
crazy.
such thing. But at the same time, I continue to respect Lorraine and the rest of the family. But Mrs. Young had finally come out and told David Nelson, who was a reporter that I knew out of Minnesota, that she was convinced that Donald had been killed, that his death was to protect his friend Obama. And she confirmed that they had, in fact, been extremely close for years.
I mean, did she confirm that they'd had sex, Obama and Donald Young?
Her confirmation wasn't referencing, or she did not specifically say that they were sexually involved. She just simply said that they had been intimate friends for years.
But she believed the Obama campaign was responsible.
She believed that his death was due to protecting Barack Obama. And I made the same argument that people said, well, how are you accusing Barack? I said, I'm not accusing Barack of anything.
Yeah, you are.
But I said, I'm willing to bet my life that Barack Obama and Jeremiah Wright both know or have knowledge of who killed Donald Young. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
Well, this was a guy who was clearly going to be the next leader.
So he's not
of the
accusing
world.
someone. He's just stating something
people
without
kill each other.
evidence that only he has.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Insurance claims over bar fights. There's a lot at stake here. I have no knowledge of this. I'm not alleging a murder by the Obama campaign or its ally.
You kind of want to believe, but you know it's bullshit. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. It's more like I kind of want to believe, but I know it's bullshit. But there's always a chance that part of it or a good chunk of it's true. That's really more it is than just
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not a crazy thing to wonder.
I think this guy's lied in this interview more than once.
Yeah,
I just don't know where.
A lot.
I don't understand why
Yeah.
Tucker hasn't addressed this public lie detector that he failed in 2008.
Yeah, the omission. I mean, the omission can be chalked up to just bad research, and he's got a history of it with the Andrew Tate thing. But, you know, and like I know this from a news team and not having a news team. You have a news team, you're less likely to make a mistake. You don't have a news team, which I didn't the first 2 or 3 years. You're more likely to. I probably made more mistakes back then.
Tucker needs a he needs a map pit. That's what he needs.
Actually, because Tyrone, you're fired. You said that what's this? Flamenco live with his parents.
He still probably does.
Yeah, I know. So what was that? We go look at that later. That was really funny. Somebody fact checked me. You know.
Yeah, that's
even though
fact check
technically
my
it was
jokes.
kind of done dishonestly.
How was
because
it?
I said, oh,
Show it to me.
I
We'll
was
finish up on it later. Stick around for Flamenco.
Sure.
I'll cover that because Flamenco was really funny last night.
Obviously.
No, and the only thing after I realized what had happened with Donald Young, the only thing I'd ever asked was the same thing that I had done. And I said, you know, if you want to accuse me of being crazy, you know, release your phone records. You know, turn over your phone records from your phone in '99. Turn over your phone records for the last year. I mean, it's that easy.
that's
If you've
probably
got nothing
gone
to
now.
hide.
Like
It's not
99.
like they're
Yeah,
going to be
probably.
made public. Turn them
Yeah.
over to authorities. Let
But
them.
then again, post internet, maybe not. Records going away is less and less believable in today's age because everything it used to be a paper issue. After a while, you had no storage space for all the paper. You don't got that anymore. So you never know.
them investigate.
99 is post internet world. You know, internet became
Yeah, I mean, but still.
well, maybe not where you live because gerbils run your internet. I don't know, fucking know. But
Fuck you.
But
Oh yeah, camels. They ate the wires.
internet kind of came to every household and became affordable in the summer of 1995 when AOL dropped, I think, to $20 or $10 a month. I forget which it was. And within a year or two, most people had DSL or cable, and it just spread from basically New York, the East Coast, to any major city. And now, God, I've heard they have stuff in areas that they have stuff in the States now that areas where they only had dial-in and didn't even work that well because the phone lines were old.
Yeah.
Now they have DSL in areas like that, cable modems, and what do I have? I have like the best. What's it called?
Fiber.
Fiber. I mean, I have fiber now, so it just took 20 years.
Let them look. But no.
So now seems like a fair time to ask about your motive. So your initial motive was you were annoyed because you believed or you knew that Obama was lying about his drug use.
Right.
But then after the Donald Young exchange, where he brings up the sex that you had with Obama, what was the point at which you decided, I'm just going to bring this to the country, I'm going to go public?
Well, in
Money.
January of 2008, after
Did he get any money?
having
I don't know,
contacted
probably not.
the campaign yet again, I had decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to make a YouTube video and put it up, which I did.
Tyrone, find that video.
It wasn't because I was looking for anything.
Find that fucking video,
In
bro.
fact, if I had even stopped long enough to anticipate the blowback and the consequences.
How could you not anticipate the blowback? It's just the chance that the guy that called you, who was murdered in his apartment, might have something to do with what he called you about. And you don't anticipate the blowback of a YouTube video? Come on.
Of speaking out. Me being me, it probably would not have stopped me. It might have slowed me a little bit, but it would not have stopped me. But I figured if you're going to call him out, you can't call him out on part of it. And people said, well, why didn't you just talk about the drug use and leave the sex out? And I said, because if I said he just used drugs and then you found out later it was drugs and sex, you would accuse me of lying because I didn't mention the sex. So my opinion was, if you're going to tell the story,
And more than one thing
then you
could be
tell the
true
whole
here.
story and let the chips fall where they may. So that's exactly what I did.
And so you made a YouTube video. By the way, I looked for it last night. I couldn't find it.
That's because YouTube gave access to my account to someone shortly after the polygraph test.
I believe that.
Yeah, they probably
Absolutely.
By the way, I found his
After the
channel.
Twitter files, I absolutely believe that.
And I was never given access back to it before the video was actually deleted.
You're back up.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, YouTube gave
Yeah, that's so hard to believe. That could never happen. That's a total conspiracy theory.
access to the account and the video.
And just a fact, like, oh, he didn't make the YouTube video, and he's doing this. Get the fuck out of here.
Was deleted. Microsoft gave access to my Hotmail account, and all of my emails were circulating the internet, and vacation replies were set up on my email telling people that I was busy giving blowjobs and would get back with them when I was done. Oh, yeah.
Man, they wanted Obama to be president.
Yep, and they wanted me to be the biggest fraud and
You are kind of a fraud. You were convicted of forgery.
case that ever existed.
So I got to ask you, I mean, you know, I wasn't there. I can only assess what you're saying. I don't see any obvious motive for you for gain.
Bullshit. Come on, Tucker. Give me a break.
What? Why?
I mean,
That's
come on.
the
Give me a
dumbest.
fucking break. Come on now. Attention, at the very least.
Financial gain. You're not going to get rich doing this. And in fact, you haven't. You've gotten impoverished as a result of it. But, like, if I'm
He does live in Mexico. Wouldn't it be funny if his neighbors? Oh, I can't even say whose neighbors
a
were.
reporter, well, I was a reporter at the time. I remember thinking,
I think
well,
Matt
that's
knows
an
what I'm
interesting
talking
story.
about.
But it seemed like nobody in the media wanted to follow up with you. And some people, like Ben Smith at Politico, who's a liar and a shill posing as a journalist, I reread the piece last night that he wrote saying, oh, it's ridiculous. Right off the first graph, it's ridiculous, these claims.
Well, I think I have an answer for why a lot of reporters did not want to follow up. And I think it would have something to do with what
Not being credible.
David Axelrod told a old Chicago Sun-Times reporter, or no, a Chicago Tribune reporter, John Crudson.
Axelrod had been a reporter in Chicago before he
Okay.
went into politics.
Well, John Crudson worked for the Chicago Tribune, And John
I
Crutzen
found a
actually
video
came to Duluth,
of
Minnesota.
Larry Sinclair doing the lie detector test. There's actually video of it, if you want that.
I believe
And he
it.
answers the questions that I said earlier. Did Obama smoke a rock of cocaine in your presence? And it was later revealed, not obviously in this video, but on this official document that I sent to you that's signed, that it was scored with a -7 with evaluation of deception indication.
I don't believe those things anyway. That actually doesn't make me believe them any more or less. A, they're not admissible, and it depends on who's taking it.
I think,
Yeah.
regardless of regardless of the fact that it said like deception indication, I don't understand why Tucker Carlson hasn't brought it up.
Fair criticism. I mean, you almost have to say you failed 2 lie detectors. You know, and I don't even understand why he hasn't brought it up. I failed 2 lie detectors, but it's bullshit. You know, I don't trust the guy giving the test or whatever. Like, none of it. It's
And
just
he barely brought up his criminal history as well, of fraud. He just said, like, my past is my past. Oh, yeah. He's trying to gloss over it, rather.
Yeah. No, you're right.
He's also apt mentioning the crack and all the...
Yeah, it does play his credibility. Yes, absolutely. Instead, he's just like, oh, I don't see any reason for you to be doing this, you know. The only reason I don't see it because it seems suicidal if that guy really got bumped off, you know.
Minnesota and sat down with me and talked with me. And John Crutzen had told me point blank that before he had flown out, that he had spoken to Axelrod, and that Axelrod had told him that they were aware of who I was, and that it was their intentions to destroy me, and that if any reporter had mentioned me to them.
Oh, there's a book. Hold on. Somebody just sent me something.
Yeah.
Here's a
Yeah,
book.
he made a book.
Cocaine, Lies, and Sex of Barack Obama and Larry Sinclair. Who wrote this?
Larry Sinclair.
Larry Sinclair.
Or it's WC.
Come on, Tucker.
Look how much it's selling for. What the fuck?
How much it go? Hardcover.
Oh, hold on. It's not that much. No, hold on.
$956
$300 on
hardcover.
paperback.
Paperback, $300.
I think I take the Kindle.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus Christ.
They would be completely cut off, and that outlet
I see
would be
no
completely
reason
cut
for you
off from
to be doing
access
this
to the
interview.
Obama campaign
None.
for the duration of the year.
Oh
So I
my
think
God,
that
it's
had
true.
a lot
Yeah, it's
to
right.
do with why reporters didn't bring things up to the campaign, because everybody wanted access to, the new savior. Nobody wanted to be blackballed and denied access
Probably true.
to a historic campaign.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's the guy's running for president and credible information.
Oh, and the reporters wouldn't. Wasn't there journal list that came out after Obama was elected, and that they were all working together, and that same journal list that was model was copied for Gamergate. So give me a fucking break. They're not gonna wow, he's running for president. I gotta tell the truth, even though I'm would vote for him. Bullshit. They'd cover it up. I'm sorry. If Barack Obama executed, same thing with the Biden, toddlers on the White House lawn, they'd look the other way.
Comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes. I mean, that seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared about telling people the truth about anything.
Yeah, they're liars. And that Ben Smith is a liar.
Oh, Ben Smith's more than a liar, but you're right.
What do you mean more than a liar?
He's a complete fraud.
Who's Ben Smith?
He's gay.
Who's Ben Smith?
I have
I
no
missed that.
idea.
Ben Smith is an American journalist that he's talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he's a liar. He's a journalist.
Ben Smith, I hear people talking about grifters. Ben Smith to me is a grifter.
Yeah.
Ben Smith wrote an article saying that I had a 27-year
Criminal history.
career criminal. And the funny thing is if you look my criminal history up, which I've published myself and provided from day one, my criminal history goes from 1980 to 1986. And
Actually, we found from 85 to 87, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
everything I've ever done, I've owned it.
By the way, this is not. We're not doing a fucking expose over here. We're playing fast and loose with the fact. This is entertainment. I don't give a shit if my news guys get this shit wrong. This is just funny to me.
I've never wasted taxpayer money. And any sentence I've ever been given, I've served. But he also said
Didn't
that I
mention what they
was
were.
a fugitive, that I
No, he didn't.
was avoiding prosecution. I was trying to prevent from going to jail. None of that was true. But the media ran with it. Even Greta linked to it and said that people asked me why I would not
Means Greta Van Susteren?
interview Larry Sinclair.
She's a Scientologist. She has no fucking credibility if that's what she's talking about.
This is why. And she linked to Ben Smith's article. And notice his article was published right when I was preparing to do the press conference at the National Press Club. But hey,
Odds are Tucker knows Greta.
the National Press Club, so-called beacon for freedom of the press, they
You guys know who Greta Van Susteren is?
No.
Nope.
Some people know. Hi, I'm Greta Van Susteren.
were just as involved in trying to keep the story from ever being.
It's interesting. I watched the other night. I watched your entire National Press Club appearance, and in it, you detail your intersections with law enforcement exhaustively.
Yeah.
Every time you've been arrested, you explain it. Every time you've done time, you explain it. So you didn't, from what I could tell, hide your past.
No, why? You
For
can't.
what though?
I mean, I've never hidden my past in regular everyday life. Why would I hide it in something like this?
So, I mean, you're the only person on this set who's had sex with Barack Obama. So I
Was it good?
don't know, expert on Obama, but you know more than most people. What's your assessment of him
Tucker
now?
believes it. I don't believe it.
I think he's the same grifter that he's always been.
Yeah, but they're all like
I think
that,
he's
in
still
fairness.
very power hungry. I think Obama is calling the shots in the current Biden administration more than people are willing to admit.
And that's why you're here.
I think Obama is hell bent. I had made a statement during that press conference that I felt that Barack Obama being elected was going to push.
Yeah, Bedmaster calling calling a politician a grifter. It's like calling a fucking used car salesman a thief. You know.
race relations in this country backwards 50 years.
He did do that.
I am absolutely positive I was
Yes, I think you've been vindicated on that.
because
did
race
say no.
relations in this country has
Between before Obama was president and after, it was just night and fucking day. Night and day. Absolutely. I can even testify. I think after I was in the army. The things got worse in the army. Absolutely. God.
not only gotten pushed back, but everything's about race now. Everything is about victimization now.
It was like that before, but boy, it's really in your face now.
It's interesting though. Yeah, he's obviously a race hater, very anti-white, but he had sex with a white man. So you have to ask, like, is that real?
Oh, for him, of course. I would be willing to bet you I'm not the only white person he's ever had.
Slave owners fucked their slave girls. I don't think that means a fucking thing. Yeah.
It was a hate fuck.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was you were blowing him.
Sucks with, or male. And
Well, now let me be clear. If I get a blowjob, the white man's blowing me.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. I am always
hey,
on
he's
top.
got what he wanted. He is in D.C. He's living the life. He's still looked upon as being the savior of the country. And sadly, people are still giving him that power. And I think it's going eventually to be to the detriment of.
Can I just ask you one last question? How did you? I'm just thinking about it. It's very insightful because
This guy has no political angle.
I knew a lot of people who weren't liberal who voted for Obama purely on the race question. And they weren't all self-hating, guilty whites. They were like nice, normal people who wanted to see race relations improve. And that really
I know
was
black
the
people.
core premise of his-
I knew black people that did that as well. Like, I'll never forget. I wasn't super enthused that he was elected, but I was in the army, and the family across the hall from me was black, and they invited me in to watch the inauguration. And I thought to myself, I look like a real fucking scumbag if I don't go next door. And they were elated. They were like this was a really important, wonderful moment for this guy who was a great sergeant. By the way, he's a great guy. His wife was a bitch, but that's another thing. Thanks to the divorce, helping along my divorce. But I'll never forget watching him and his children. You really could see it. Like, yeah, that it's not a barrier anymore. Like, that could be me. Now it's possible, and it was a beautiful thing. It really was. It just, it turns out that he's fucking, my dad was right about him. He's a fucking commie, And I really think a lot of stuff that you saw with Trump and Russia and going after is his doing. They're his guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's too bad. It's too bad that Barry wasn't the Barry that he portrayed. It really is too bad, because it was a fucking great time in American history. It was something, but I think it made things worse. I'll be honest with you. And I think it made things worse because you don't grab power by making people get along and like each other. You do it through hate and division. That's the easier route. So
his campaign.
I want to say this.
And a
real
lot of
quick.
people.
I'm just looking up the records because he was talking about this guy Ben Smith who made this like bullshit article on him. The Ben Smith article cites the public records of the Pueblo County, Colorado Sheriff's Office of the arrests of Larry Sinclair.
okay.
Like, it doesn't. It's all the information, like that arrest that I sent you. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why he just immediately dismissed that.
I don't know if he dismissed it. I just don't think it's very important. I don't know if he dismissed it.
Sinclair said, like, this guy, fucking Ben Smith, he's worse. He's worse than just a fake journalist.
Well, just because he put out something truthful didn't mean he didn't craft a narrative. In fairness,
Yeah. But the
I don't
actual
know. I don't think the fact
says-
that he got factual stuff out there like absolves him from not being a crook journalist. But in fairness, I didn't read the article. No.
Yeah, I'm just saying this. Like, in the article itself, it cites the literal public records of Larry Sinclair that you can just check.
Amazing.
A lot of smart people.
Because I didn't have that impression that the article was written like that from this interview, so I had to check myself.
Nice.
And I saw why they bought it.
But you didn't buy it. How did you know that?
I grew up in South Carolina in the 1960s and 70s, okay? I've been gay and knew I was gay since 6 years old. Never hid it, okay?
Yeah.
I grew up in rural South Carolina. And my first job as a kid was cropping tobacco for a family by the name of Rose that were a black family living across the road from my grandparents. So I grew up as a kid, a gay kid, in an era and an area that would get you killed being gay just as quick as you could be hanging being black. So I actually knew the other side of the track before I knew that I was supposed to act like I was above this or above that. I've watched it my whole life. I know when someone plays, when it comes to acting like they're...
Here's another thing. Obama, he grew up really well. He grew up in Hawaii. He didn't have the average... I'm not questioning... I'm not doing the fucking thing Biden did. I'm not questioning his blackness or being a black man. Certainly he's a black man. But he didn't grow up. I used to have this argument with some friends in the Army. I was like, he didn't grow up in South Carolina. He didn't grow up in New York. He didn't grow up in Chicago. He didn't grow up in L.A. He's not really like you at all. And I'm not saying he's white or anything, because I hate that shit too. What was the Chris Rock joke? Oh, he speaks so well. Talking about Colin Powell. Of course he speaks well. He's an educated fucking man. Of course he speaks well. But I never understood why the black community took him in. He really grew up parallel to that. Yeah, and I never even grasped that as well. He always seemed like a big phony to me, but whatever. In fairness, it could be confirmation bias, and I just might be right because he is a phony.
One way, and then in reality, they're the biggest racists or bigots alive on both sides. Okay. I knew because he was saying one thing in the campaign, and then if people started to actually listen to what he was saying, remember there was a time when he actually told supporters to show up at a fight with a knife, get in people's face, argue with them if they didn't agree to support him, if they didn't agree to vote for him. Argue with them.
That was like
Convince them.
Chicago.
Come on. You don't make statements like that and tell me that you're not going to make things about race. He did.
Man, that is the one part of your story that we can say unequivocally you're telling the truth about. You saw that, and most people didn't. Larry Sinclair, I'm really grateful that you came. I wish I had interviewed you in 2008. I don't think anyone would have
Funny if Larry clear up Tucker's leg.
run the interview. But anyway, thank you.
You're
He
welcome.
just did. Serious? Tucker.
Very much.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
You like grabbed his cock.
Great to meet you. He yelled at Tucker. Fucking, Tucker just reached out. All right, there you go. There you go. That was amazing.
That was hilarious.
I believe whatever the fuck you like. I don't give a shit.
I don't think it's true.
I don't either. I think the guy's fucking
Yeah.
shadiest. Shady
I don't
as
think
shit.
it's true, but there's a lot of information that was just omitted by Tucker Carlson. That
Yeah. Oh, I think it's it. I think I thought from the beginning. I said it yesterday. Like I think this is beneath Tucker. You know, and under normal circumstances. But maybe if you find out you're never going to work in the business again, you don't give a shit. Maybe Tucker's some big fan. I'm going out like Tommy C. You know, something like that. Like he's maybe Tucker's
Last
really
season,
maybe
last
Tucker's
season of the Tucker Carlson
maybe
show.
Tucker's been taking in a lot of drama alert. And fucking
I just found like a bunch of information within the hour that kind of is really important to the story. And Tucker Carlson said
Didn't
he
cover
tried to
any
find
of
a
it.
YouTube video and couldn't find it. So it's like,
yeah, he's not doing it. He just interviewed the guy. It's pretty clear that he didn't, you know, he's not probably used to fucking going out and doing the research.
Well, what happened after this interview is that Tucker freebased some cocaine and let
That is too fucking funny. Let's get the Pats and get out of here. I'll do an after show. I have to go to the bathroom really bad.
You didn't want to talk about flamenco?
Oh, yeah. I guess we got to do that. I promised.
Do you want to save it for the after show?
No, I promised here, so we'll do it here. I promised here, so I'll just hang on and we'll do the Pats and call it a day. Flamenco. Can I put out the stuff that he sent you?
You can say yeah, absolutely.
All right,
because
so-
I'm tired of this dude DMing me, and so if this encourages him to stop DMing me,
He probably
I'm
will.
all for it.
Probably.
Oh shit, new DMs? Let's go.
Let's go. Like it's not like everybody wouldn't see this immediately. So I roasted flamenco yesterday, and just because I wanted to. I even had somebody. I'm not going to even put this out, but I had somebody contact me yesterday. Don't say the name if you can see it. Can nobody see this? I had somebody contact me yesterday. Hey, let's see. I'll speak to you. 6 months ago. If you like to, oh, this is another thing too. If you want to dump dirt on somebody with me, don't fucking try to get me in a call. I instantly turn it down. If you'd like to hear what I'd have to say, please let me know. I'm sure I can answer more questions. Well, here's the thing. I'm not interested whatsoever, and I'll tell you why. I just wanted to roast flamenco and call it a fucking day. It was not that interesting. I suppose I can keep going on and on. I'm sure flamenco wouldn't do me the same favor, but I sometimes I just want to roast people, and it's not a war, so to speak. Yeah, he wrote that, and then he says, if you need evidence, I can provide that. Well, you probably should have done that right away. I haven't even looked at this stuff yet. So apparently he had dirt and flamenco, but it's just like it's not that serious, really. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
It's just not that serious. Like, who cares? I don't care what flamenco thinks. You know, I think he's a douche. Like, you know, he wouldn't know if anybody. Like, he can't even get people to help him. Oh, I got Femios got her. I don't know I gotta get back in touch with Femios. I'm surprised they didn't call me because I talked to Femios. I guess her channel demonetized.
Oh shit.
And yeah, we didn't put that out there, did we? In fact, let's shift gears to that real quick. Hold on. Not that. Where's your Where's your tweets, man? Is that? I want to see. Yeah, he got demonetized out of nowhere, and it was one of those things where somebody did something racist, but he was pointing out the racism. So like it was something like that. I looked into it. I remember it was my Femios. Jesus Christ, poor Femios' dad. Beep. Oh, isn't that awful? Poor Femios' dad. He should have fucking watched Monday Night Football with him or something. That's how it goes. Maybe that's why I'm not hearing for him. Am I spelling it right? Yeah.
I don't know if that's their act.
No, probably not.
That's the at, yeah.
I don't think it is.
Problem with
No.
Femios. No, I don't have it. Well, maybe they never sent it to me. YouTube. Yeah. It seemed like they got ripped off. I told them I'd talk to somebody, but I haven't seen anything since, and they haven't contacted me. So if I'm interested, out to get in touch with me. It's still going on. I'll see what I can do for you. I can't do really as much as I used to. So it looked like it was legit. Oh, by the way, to Grimsy, Femios had trouble getting to the fucking point. And I unironically yelled at them, probably worse than I did Grimsy, and it was in private, so I meant it. Totally took it on the chin, unlike that bitch.
Oh,
Grimsy.
Femios got suspended on Twitter.
Oh, man, he can hit me up through here. Yeah, I think somebody's going after him.
Yeah, because like he responded to my tweet like a while back, so like I want to go check for the ad, and I can't see it anymore.
Yeah, okay.
It says this post is from a suspended account.
Let's go to. So he wrote you. But hey, that's why the commentary community double standard. Just try to get mad when people do what you guys do to other people. Oh,
Yeah, that was back in July. Then he
July.
DMs me LMAO. You have to be genuinely delusional to say I smear anyone for no reason. So every time you do a stream on this guy, he DMs me.
Good.
Does he have? Do you have him blocked?
Well, I did because he just says he can start going on about Diorio. I'm not on Twitter. I blocked him.
Not on Twitter, right?
Yeah, so he doesn't DM me personally because he DMs me nonsense and bitches about Diorio. And apparently, Technical's had enough of the bullshit too. You know, I mean, that was with Alberto. No, I mean, everybody's just like, oh God, you know, the autistic obsession is really. Say it with me now. Adults who sex minors deserve jail. I think that Ron Cena, the guy that was my World of Warcraft stream, was
Flamenco.
Yes, because everything lined up to out of nowhere. Like I haven't been talking about fucking Zaptai or anything, and there was it was that whole thing. I was like, if you don't agree with it was flamenco logic. If you don't agree with me, then you're a pedophile, even though he's a lolly guy. Go figure. You're the gayest person on the platform. Damn, did I say it should be pretty easy for normal people? Yeah, this kind of stuff. Adults have said he wants you to get a compliment and you just keep saying is gay. Oh, so you're all subservient to the midwit. What, we should be subservient to you? You're talk about a midwit. You're a quarter wit. You know, God. So he writes all that fucking horse shit. And then you got fooled by a fake.
Yes, I did. On Now Recording last
Send me
night.
that.
Yes.
Send me that.
Do we have a clip of that?
Yeah, send me.
Timestamp?
No, I think I do. I think I do have a time. I think I mememorized it because it was really funny. I was thinking about bringing it.
You fucking memorized it.
Yeah, I did because it was really funny. I'll play it on here because it could potentially get Matt in trouble. So I'll play it on my show just so we're even, sort of. I don't know. And it's
there's a guy.
It's AI. So somebody did me dirty as usual. I can't. You should just send me the thing. I think I know where it is.
All right. I'll just send you the stream. Okay.
Yeah, send me the stream. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I'll figure it out. I'll find it.
It's kind of funny. If like the first thing you click on is your fucking
No,
timestamp.
that's happened
That'd be
before
funny.
though, hasn't it? No, that was that. Oh, was that it? Hold on.
All right, so let's listen to this tipster clip.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's like 42 minutes something or something. I don't know.
Was it like early?
Oh.
It's like 42
No,
minutes
no.
in.
42? You sure? Oh, that was it?
Yeah, I think
thought
so.
it was 40 something, yeah. I'll know. Yes, this is it.
Yeah, see, there he is in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Well, you know.
Oh, wow. You want to elaborate?
Yeah, Matt, you want to
Yeah,
explain
and I bet you're
about that clip?
well. Flamenco says, yeah, and I bet you're surrounded by good people, right, Matt? Yes, Flamenco. I'm surrounded by decent people. Fucking,
You're surrounded by anime.
you're obsessed because you think everybody just turned on you on a dime and just decided, hey, let's fuck over Flamenco. When in reality, you did this to yourself.
Hi, Flamenco. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a brony and I like anime.
Wait, I like how he says he has
Your future sex partner.
better things to do, but yet he's in this chat watching us as we.
Bro,
talk
yeah,
shit
you're
about
literally
him.
in the chat. You're literally in the chat, bro. You can't say you have better things to do and then just sit in the chat. By the way, fucking 20 minutes ago, you were DMing me.
Hey, man,
What's up, Nick?
buddy.
Oh.
Hello, Nick.
Click on Flamenco. And
Oh no.
Did you just get fooled, you idiot?
No.
No.
He's wanting you to pay me.
Oh.
No.
I was gonna check sooner. I just assumed you did because
It just made sense.
listen,
damn
he's
it.
done this so many times. It would have got
My heart is broken. I thought I was making a connection with Flamenco finally. I've been working this op for years. Ugh.
All right. Well,
Appreciate it.
Right.
I you know something? Whoops, I guess.
I hope Flamenco clips this and just makes us look like yeah. Do that, Flamenco, and make sure that you plug now recording. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Tag now.
And don't touch
recording.
your cousin.
But am I
Yeah.
wrong, chat? Am I wrong? It's something he would do. Like, it's literally something he would do.
Matt
He's
trying
gonna,
to
like, save
justify.
himself.
Matt trying to justify it.
Bro, I wish nobody told me. I would have kept doing that all night long.
Matt, I'm gonna have to vet shit now. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Hi, Tommy.
Yo,
You
Tommy.
got nigga.
Satire. In Roblox, in alternate universe, he was talking in Spanish.
we were reacting to him saying that. There you go.
Yeah, it was an AI voice bot. It was parody. Oh god, he really shot that from the point, didn't he? Okay.
I thought Uncle Tommy had come in to be like, you dumb fucks, how could you?
I mean, that's basically what he did.
You're fired!
Bro, by the way, that's the best flamenco alt account I've ever seen because I could when I was reading it, I was hearing it in his
Oh,
voice.
shut up. Stop justifying it. You fucking
It was the best, dude. It was really good.
Yeah, it was
Fuck
it
you,
was
man.
great.
You want to know the
suck.
funniest part about that
Yeah.
stream, though?
What's
D-Max
that?
doesn't know any of the flamenco lore.
No.
And I was trying to explain to him like the Mike the Bike stuff, and he's like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you know what they should do? They should leave those kids alone." Like he pitched the song, not even knowing that it had already
Oh
happened.
God, that's so funny.
That's funny.
That's what got him.
Dude.
It's fucking Mike the
Hey.
Bike. I thought I could crush Mike the Bike, and I couldn't.
Matt is coping, bro. Matt is
Hey,
coping and seething.
Flamenco, leave Matt Pitt alone. That's a new song.
Maybe I ought to pay him for that. Hey, leave Matt Pitt alone.
And it's just like Malenko staring at a fucking like drawing of a guy with the one leg.
I was thinking of doing Flamenco AI voice, an AI voice parody of it, and have Flamenco sing.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh God. Okay, buddy. All
Okay,
right.
buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Okay,
that's
buddy.
pretty funny. It was fun to make fun of Michael, and I don't really care what he does from here. It was hilarity, and it worked. And so today was pretty good as well. And tomorrow is fluid, so there's no guarantee there'll be a stream of any kind.
Gender fluid Wednesday. Let's
Gender
go.
fluid Wednesday. I know. Probably better chance of a stream late tonight because I can't sleep in this heat. It's fucking terrible, man.
Are you gonna do a game stream?
I don't know, something like that. I first got out of the bathroom because I'm gonna shit my pants. Patreon, where the fuck? Here we go. Let me audience. Let me shout out the because if you give me $10 a month, I'll say your name every day because that's what I do. I'm like that. Oatbag, Mexon, St. Cloud, Cody, Everborn, Nesquick, Reynold Hughes, Tommy C's Cat. Thanks, Bunny, and Picklington. They all donate. A lot of you donate, but I really appreciate all y'all. All y'all. Anything else? Secure is out there. Agent. Man, I gotta go.
Hey, Paige, if you want read dirt tweets, but I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
No. I got to the bathroom so bad. All right, everybody. I'm outie. I guess I'll do the after show like I promised, and I'll see you over there. If you got a thing, just go to after show. And you know what? I'll do a freebie. How about that? Because you guys have been so good to me. Freebie after show. Be there. See you in a bit. Have a good night. Bye.